On October 31st, 2018, Shibuya became the battleground for many different jujutsu sorcerers and cursed spirits. The battles that transpired would prove to change the world of Jujutsu Kaisen forever. And that shit was crazy, so we're gonna talk about it. What's good, my people, and welcome to Top 5. I'm your host, Kadeem The Dreem, and I'm gonna show you guys my top 5 moments of the Shibuya arc in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Fair warning, spoilers will be ahead, and if you haven't watched the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen, then this is your cue to get out my video. And lastly, shout out to Urban Sama for giving me a platform to talk about all of my favorite things. Let's get into it.
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go.
Starting off with number 5, we have the death of Nanami. Watching this scene was hard, y'all, and I read the manga. I knew this was coming, and it still broke me. After narrowly surviving his battle with Dagon, Nanami and the rest of his team were ambushed by the special grade cursed spirit, Jogo. With low cursed energy and burns over 70% of his body, Nanami was still walking around like nothing happened. He was walking around looking for that next fight.
There's no one can stop me.
And he found it. Nanami starts slashing through the horde of transfigured humans, and he's doing all of this while fantasizing about his dream of a low-cost, easygoing life in Malaysia. It was a tough battle for him, but like the GOAT that he is, he killed them all, except for Mahito, who was just hanging around in the cut. With his last breath, Nanami passes the torch to Yuji to finish things with Mahito. Those words will stick with Yuji for the remainder of the series, but the question still remains. If those were words of encouragement, or just another curse placed upon Yuji. Although it was hard to watch, seeing Nanami fight hard to the bitter end was amazing. The choreography was fire, the score was breathtaking, and it did his death a lot more justice than the manga did. Moving on to number 4, we have Gojo's 0.2 domain expansion. Now this moment right here,
This shit right here, nigga. Right here. This shit, nigga.
was a sight to witness. Satoru Gojo, the man, the myth, the walking flex, takes on 4 special grade cursed spirits at once while at the same time protecting as many civilians as he can. Gojo is the strongest sorcerer in the modern era of Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, the whole reason that any of them are even in Shibuya is because of him. The curses teamed up with Suguru Geto to seal Gojo in the prison realm so that they can move forward with their plans of bringing in the Age of Curses to Japan. With Gojo around, that's not happening anytime soon, so they gotta backdoor him. With Gojo's curse technique Infinity, it's virtually impossible to hurt him. Basically, it makes it so that anything that's thrown at him is slowed down infinitely, so it never reaches him. Overpowered? Yes. Still cool as shit? Hell the fuck yeah. The curses lured Gojo into a battle that's in a narrow train platform surrounded by hundreds of civilians. Their plan? To kill as many humans as possible, use the closed space to limit Gojo's movements, and then neutralize his defenses so that their attacks can reach him. Gojo sees through their plan and begins going to work on these lame-ass cursed spirits. Even though Gojo was gaining ground on the cursed spirits, their plan was actually working. The number of casualties were increasing, and soon everyone on floor B5 was going to be killed. Being in a confined space with so many civilians around, Gojo couldn't kill the curses as quickly as he normally could. So it was time to make a decision. And Gojo chose to open up his domain, but only for a fraction of a second. 0.2 seconds to be exact. You know how fast that is? You literally could blink and miss it. He did this so that any human caught in his domain wouldn't have their brains melted by the infinite amount of information flooded into them due to the domain. It's safe to say that it worked. After ending his domain, everyone on floor B5, including the cursed spirits, were unconscious while standing up. This gave Gojo his opportunity to end all of this once and for all. And man, did that boy deliver. He was zooming through that bitch, cutting out all the curses, ripping their heads off. And he did all of that within 5 minutes after opening his domain. The transfigured humans were killed and the casualties stopped. The day was saved. Until it wasn't. Gojo didn't realize the third part of their plan, which was to keep him busy long enough for Prison Realm to activate. Once that happened, Gojo's cursed energy was nullified and Gojo was sealed, and the cursed spirits began to run wild. Now we have number 3, The return of Toji Zenin. So while Gojo was getting sealed, Granny Oegi and her grandson were in battle with Nanami's protege, Ino. While her grandson kept Ino at bay, Oegi was preparing her ritual. The ritual would allow her grandson to take the form of whoever Granny was trying to summon. In this case, she had the bright idea of bringing back the Michael Myers of Jujutsu Kaisen himself, Toji Zenin. What she didn't count on was Toji's Giga Chad energy taking over her grandson's body completely, and his personality to take over. Remember when I said Nanami and his team narrowly survived a fight with Dagon? Yeah, that was because Toji went inside Dagon's domain and started beating his ass like his daddy never did. Megumi didn't even realize his dad just came back into his life like he finally bought them cigarettes. And Toji, just like a shitty dad, didn't even realize he was boxing his son and his woodland creatures. Once he did, though, he put an end to the fight and was just happy to see his son be his own man and not take their clan's last name. I mean, who would want to anyway? That clan sucks. Number 2, Todo joins the battle. Remember when you were a kid and you got into a fight with another kid and out of nowhere your older brother or sister would come through and just handle business? That's what this scene felt like when Todo showed up and saved Yuji from Mahito. After seeing Nobara and Nanami die in front of him, Yuji hit his breaking point and completely lost the will to keep fighting. Even after Todo saved him, he couldn't find a reason to get up. But Todo, like the big bro that he is, tells Yuji he needs to boss the fuck up and start acting like a real jujitsu sorcerer. He knows better than anyone that becoming a jujitsu sorcerer means that death is around the corner at all times, and not just for civilians, but for them as well. There's no time for mourning, especially when you still got the enemy in your face and that you've been entrusted with the will of his fallen comrades. Those words put the battery back in Yuji's back, and he locked back in. Together with Todo, they made quick work of Mahito and sent his ugly ass packing. Todo's return was what we needed after all the death and destruction we've seen all throughout this arc. And it's my second favorite moment from the entire season. And now for what everyone's been waiting for. Number 1, Sukuna's Rampage. Now it makes sense that the King of Curses made his way to the number 1 spot on my list, and trust me, it was well deserved. Every time Sukuna made his way to the screen, you knew some shit was about to go down. After Jogo found Yuji unconscious, he fed him 15 of Sukuna's fingers. Yuji is a perfect vessel, which means Yuji can handle eating 1 finger a day and still keep Sukuna under wraps in his body. But eating 15 fingers at once made it easier for Sukuna to take control of his body in that moment. It wasn't permanent, but it was long enough for Sukuna to have his fun and cause as much chaos as he can. Jogo was just super unlucky this day because not only did he have to fight the strongest sorcerer of the modern era, he also had to fight the strongest sorcerer in history. And Sukuna didn't give him a chance to breathe for shit. Sukuna made quick work of Jogo and made him crispier than a Popeye's chicken sandwich. But Sukuna didn't have enough of his fun, and Sukuna sure as hell wasn't prepared for Megumi crashing out again and summoning Big Raga, the Op Stopper. Real quick though, I want to talk about something. Whoever, and I mean whoever created the 10 Shadows technique was a sick individual. Because there's no way, not a chance in hell, you expected any user of this technique to tame this behemoth with these fucking woodland creatures. So Sukuna didn't need no creatures to get right, just those hands and his slashing techniques. Maharaga has the ability to adapt to any and all phenomena in battle thanks to that wheel on his back. Sukuna realizes that although he's hurting Maharaga, he's still adapting to cleave and dismantle. So what does Sukuna do next? He opens up his domain and starts dicing everything up to Kingdom Come. And that still wasn't enough to put him down. At this point, Sukuna's just like, fuck it, I'm about to burn this nigga. And he hits him with that Fuga. The entire fight was a masterclass show down to the intensity, the stakes, even the animation. And to top it all off, when the Maharaga episode was originally released, the animators said that what we saw was just 30% of their vision for the episode. And I just gotta say, that's insane, because when I watched it, I was thinking, damn, this episode is beautiful. I don't know how they can top this. And then they did it a few months later. Shout out to those animators, and Mappa give them a raise and a vacation today. So there you have it, folks. What do you guys think? I wanna know what your top 5 moments of this season was. I know I didn't cover everything that happened in the season itself, but there's always room for another top 5 list. So make sure you comment down below and hit that subscribe button for more top 5 lists in the future. Once again, I'm Kadeem The Dream, and I'll catch you guys next time.